What's going on, guys? It's Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA, FrontProofMedia.com, and MMA UK, getting ready for tonight's fights. The Ultimate Fighter Season 25 finale is going down just about 15 minutes now. We're going to be kicking it off, and it's very an exciting card. Gray Maynard's going to be kicking it off, and I'm going to give you guys some of my predictions here. There's a lot of exciting fights. Starting it off, Gray Maynard versus Ishihara. This is going to be a really exciting one, but you know what? Gray is not on the top of his career anymore, and this is no secret to anybody. Ishihara training over there at American Top Team. He trains with Uriah Faber over at Team Alpha Male, and he loves his bitches. You guys all know that. 10-3-2, and then Gray Maynard 13-7. Right off the bat, I have to go for Ishihara, and honestly, I do see this ending in a knockout for Ishihara. Gray Maynard, man, I don't know what's going on with him, but we do wish him luck. And then Tecia Torres going to get Lima. This is another really weird one. Tecia Torres, you know, we remember her from that season Ultimate Fighter. She's a great, fast, explosive striker, but lately she hasn't been doing too well. I mean, she does have that win over Beck Rawlings. Before that, she had that rematch with Rose Namajunas. Very close one, but Rose is just at the top of her game. That was the last time that she lost, too. She's been on a killing spree. She's been doing really good, except for that rematch against Rose Namajunas. But you got Lima. She's not even ranked here. She does have a 9-3 record. I know that she is pretty good with, you know, her Muay Thai skills. She's not too bad on the ground. She can get the takedowns. But Tecia, she's so small and explosive. I can't see this going any other way besides Tecia winning, most likely by decision. That's just how I see it going down in my head. I don't know why they match the top-ranked girls with unranked opponents. We've seen this with Claudia Gadelha before in the past. I think she fought Courtney Casey, who was unranked at the time. It would have been huge for Courtney Casey if she did win that fight, but you know, it's a tough thing to get these top-ranked fighters. I don't know why they match this one up here. And then we got Herman versus CB Dalloway. It's been a minute for Dalloway. Another fan favorite, an amazing wrestler. But you know what? His last fight, he lost against Nate. Before that, he lost against Michael Bisping. Before that, against Lyoto. Last time he won was 2014 against Francis Karma. 2014. That was the last time that CB won. I am rooting for him. You know, Ed Herman, he's a tough guy too. He's been taking on some top opponents lately himself. This is definitely a tough one. You know, a lot of people probably are picking CB to win, but I am leaning towards Ed Herman, another explosive fighter, really good with the clinch and wrestling. It's probably going to end up in a decision, but I do see this getting a finish for Ed Herman here. Ed Herman, though, he's coming off a loss as well, but he does have a knockout win over freaking Tim Boetsch. Before that, losing to Derek Brunson, and then Rafael Natali's got a win over back in 2014. Not very active. You know, I am leading towards Ed Herman to get this win, though. But wouldn't be mad if CB won. I'm a huge fan of CB Dalloway. Don't get me wrong here. It would be awesome if CB won, but I just don't know what to really expect. I'm not a guy that really looks at the stats. I really base it off of their last couple of performances. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know here. I'm leaning towards Ed Herman. It's been a while for CB. And then we got Krause versus Toothless Tom Galicchio, who was a fan favorite this season on Ultimate Fighter. He was pretty big on the season with Conor McGregor and Uriah Faber. I liked him, but I wasn't that big of a fan with his fighting style. He's a wrestler. He gets guys with the submission. He's a goofy character, man. But Krause, it's going to be a tough one. And I really was rooting for Tom this season. I didn't see him winning any of the matchups that he had going up against. But he won almost every single one of them up until the last fight they did against Diego Lima. And even in that fight, you can tell he gave it his all. He was completely winded. He just ran out of energy. Every time he was going for the takedown, Diego Lima just read it and stuffed him. James is just as smart, if not more. I don't want to. He's a little better striking, I want to say. And no shade thrown on Diego. Diego made it to the finals. He's probably in his prime right now. He's 28. He's looking good. James Krause, though, man, he's got very amazing striking. And if you were watching the season Ultimate Fighter, he was doing these weird jabs where it was really off rhythm. Like he would throw and halfway kind of pause and then finish it out. Like he was really picking his shots, which I thought was really impressive. But you know, I wouldn't be mad with Tom Gaethje here, and I am interested to seeing what you guys think about this. Tom Gaethje is getting the favors here. But honestly, if we look at the past couple of fights with you know, James Krause beating Shane Campbell back in February. He's also beaten Croshank. He's on a 2-fight win streak in the UFC. I mean, a true redemption here. If he does lose to Tom Gaethje, it's definitely leave a little salty taste in his mouth and a lot of people's mouth, because a lot of us were wondering, why is Krause on this season Ultimate Fighter? I mean, he's on a 2-fight winning streak. Is his contract up? He did great this season, though. He did a really good job this season, and I was kind of rooting for him. I totally saw him making it to the finals. So I am going to be picking him to get this win tonight. And then after that, Angela Hill. Now, a little fun fact about Angela Hill here. Her grandparents were the first to report a UFO sighting. I sound like this. A UFO sighting. They were a mixed couple. I think her grandfather is black, grandmother's white. And they came out and were like, listen, we got abducted by aliens. And it was looked into. This is one of the most famous abduction cases in U.S. history. You guys can look it up. Look up the Hill abduction case. I think this was back in the 60s. Really cool story. You've probably seen it on TV before, but never knew that Angela Hill is the granddaughter of these two. And I really love her style. She's almost otherworldly. But she's coming into the UFC. Her last fight, tough one. And she didn't do that bad. I didn't think she was going to win against Jessica Andrade, but she didn't do bad at all. She did lose in the decision. But this is an Invicta champion. When she was on this season Ultimate Fighter, she's improved so much since then. You can't take that away from her. I wasn't really feeling the Andrade fight. Like throwing her into the mix against Jessica Andrade, she was top ranked in that division, especially since changing divisions. I didn't understand that at all. But she didn't do half bad. This fight, I understand a lot better. I totally agree with why they picked this fight. You got Angela Hill against Ashley Yoder, which you guys might remember her from the season Ultimate Fighter with Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Claudia Gadelha. I was rooting for Yoder on this one. I actually tried to get her on Pure Evil MMA. But I really like Angela Hill's striking. But Yoder's so well-rounded, there's really no weaknesses there. She's better grappler. I think she's going to find some trouble with striking against Angela Hill, which is why I'm going with Hill to get the knockout probably in the 3rd round. That's where I'm going for. And guys, we're doing the UFC Pick'em, and I forgot to introduce myself here. Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA, of course, and of course, Pure Evil MMA Army is making their picks on the UFC Pick'em. We have a league going on, and every time there is a UFC event, I announce the winners. Not only just on Twitter, but on the Pure Evil MMA podcast, which is on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, everywhere podcasts are found. Also right here on YouTube. But let me know what you guys think about this. Angela Hill, man, she definitely needs a win. If Yoder wins, that's a huge win for this girl, being the Invicta FC champion. That's huge for Yoder. And she was a fan favorite, at least for me. She's got a 5-2 record. Angela Hill's got a 6-3 record. But Hill's just improved so much since the last time that she was on, or in the UFC. This is the 2nd time running, and it's never a good thing to see a fighter come back to the UFC and then win or lose 2 back-to-back. It's not a good thing. She needs the win tonight, especially over Yoder. And then we got Johnson versus Fortuna. Now, some of you might not remember Fortuna. He came in for his last fight, a completely different weight class than he was used to fighting. And he actually got the knockout against Anthony Hamilton right in the 1st round. Very impressive knockout. I was talking about it all week. I'm rooting for Fortuna here. He's 9-1, but his opponent Johnson, he's 7-0. He's a really good wrestler. And he's a tall dude, freaking 6'2". Only an inch taller than Fortuna here, though. And Fortuna's got some ground game. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. I definitely have Fortuna winning this. And some of you might be surprised. I got him winning by submission here. Submission in the second round. That gets us into a huge fan favorite, Elias Theodorou. I know the girls go crazy for him, but honestly, his last fight, I wasn't too impressed with him. You know, his last couple of fights, I mean, I want to see him go against some bigger names here, some tougher talent. I mean, his last fight was against Cesar Ferreira. Before that, Sam Alvey got the win. That's a huge win for him. Sam Alvey been knocking dudes out left and right. He's been doing amazing since he was on The Ultimate Fighter, putting things together. He actually dates America's Next Top Model. Actually, I forgot the girl's name. But the last time that Elias lost was against Diego Santos. Tough dude. That was back in 2015. That's the only blemish on his record. And let's talk about Elias. He's a mentally tough dude. He's got cardio for days. He looks just as good in the first round as he does in the third. But Tavares, man, I love when this guy steps in there to fight. He's just as tough. He's just as mentally tough. But his striking, I think, is on a different level than Elias. I see him winning. I see Elias winning this, but it's going to be a tough one, man. It's definitely going to be a tough one. Elias, man, I really do wish you luck. I'm going for the knockout in the second. But I really wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way. I mean, Brad Tavares, man, he's no joke. This is probably one of the toughest matchups we're probably going to see Elias in. If we look at his past couple of fights, definitely think he's a tougher opponent than his last opponent. Then we got Cannonier, who's coming in to take on a short notice fight, Rotrick, who's taking this short notice fight, who's undefeated. We don't really know much about this guy. You know, he told the UFC, I can fight anywhere. He's undefeated. He's 6 foot tall, but we really don't know too much about him. We know a lot about Cannonier. He's a great boxer. He's got speed. His footwork's on point. But he's coming off a loss to Glover Teixeira. And this is the thing. The last fight that he had with Glover, I was really rooting for Cannonier. I thought he was going to be able to do a lot more. I don't know if he was afraid of Glover Teixeira, but he was getting destroyed, taken down, and just beat. Cannonier's a boxer. He wasn't moving around, wasn't using his jab, and he was just getting eaten up. This was a fight that he could have won. I didn't understand it. So hopefully he made the changes that he needed to take. I want to see more boxing tonight. That's what Cannonier needs to do. And you know what? He's got a great opponent here. 7-0. I mean, he is taking the fight on short notice, but to take out an undefeated guy, man, it's not an easy thing. Then again, you know, Jared does have more of a veteran approach here since he is a UFC fighter. Rotrick, this is the first time. This is his debut. This is a big one for him. And he could get the win. We could see a knockout. We could see him take him down and just smother Cannonier. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. But I'm just going from what I've seen in the past. I'm going with Cannonier. KO, round 2. Watch the footwork of this guy. Very impressive fighter. Hopefully he can connect the dots tonight and show everybody what he's all about. That last fight, man, I just didn't understand what was going on at all. So here's my pick for fight of the night. One of my fights of the night. This is going to be definitely performance of the night or the fight of the night. It's getting the 50K bonus. I guarantee it. We got Mark Diakiese going up against Close. Close 7-0. He's a very explosive fighter, and we know the same thing about Diakiese. The last time he fought was against Dana White looking for a fight, ATT prospect Devin Powell, who also trains with Diakiese. The grappling of Close, though, that's what I want you guys to look for tonight. And he's an amazing striker. He's explosive. He's got heart. But I really am hoping that Mark, the Bone Crusher, gets the finish tonight in the second round. Or no, you know what? In the first round. I'm sorry about that. He's a young kid, and he's got the world ahead of him. And after that last fight that he had, that first round knockout, got everybody hyped about him. But you know what? Ever since he came into the UFC back at the end of 2016, he's fought 3 times since then, and he's just been on a roll, baby. Training down at ATT with our boy Shane Burgos, Brad Pickett is giving them tips. This is going to be an exciting one. I'm guaranteeing this to be the 50K fight of the night or performance of the night. I'm going to Casey. First round KO. My fingers are crossed. And that gets us into the Ultimate Fighter Season 25 finale finalists. Diego Lima going against Jesse Taylor. Now, Jesse, originally, for those of you out there that don't remember or haven't seen, or maybe it's the first time you're watching Ultimate Fighter tonight, Jesse Taylor won this season Ultimate Fighter that he was on, but screwed it up in the worst way imaginable. The night before the fights, he went out, got completely hammered, just got really aggressive, kicked the windows out of the limousine, went inside the casino, and just caused a whole lot of problems, was being very aggressive with women, and Dana wasn't having it. He brought Taylor into the next day. He was like, "You're not ready for this, man. You're not ready for this. You cannot handle the fame." Well, what's going to happen once you get into the UFC, and it just doesn't look good for mixed martial arts at all. There's a lot of people out there still that think that this is just such a violent, barbaric sport, and they are so wrong. And if you got people out there being violent, aggressive, and just saying bad things in public, especially saying, "I am the Ultimate Fighter finale winner. Do you know who I am?" It just doesn't look good. So this was a good redemption season for somebody like Jesse Taylor to come on. And I was excited. I know Ann was excited to see Jesse. And a lot of people thought that Jesse was going to make it to the finales. And this is the first time a fighter has made it to the finales twice. Well, for Lima and Taylor. Taylor didn't make it to the finales because he wasn't allowed. But you know what? This is a true redemption here. And you know what? Lima was already in the UFC. He had a rocky start. Now he's back. He's in his prime. I've actually had the pleasure of interviewing him a couple of months ago. You guys can find that right here on the YouTube channel at Pure Evil MMA with a 14-5 record. You know, he was fighting over at Titan FC for a while, doing big things over there. Very well rounded. I'm really impressed with his striking this season, his distance control. But you know what? This is a tough one. I really don't see a finish coming in this one. He is a good grappler. He's an even better striker. But Jesse Taylor, his wrestling, man, is scary. It's just so scary. He's a scrappy dude. He's very strong. And he's 34 years old. You can tell he's thirsty. He wants it. His time is now. For both these guys, both their time is now. Last time he fought in Strikeforce against Luke Rockhold. So this is the big stage here for Jesse Taylor. 32-15 record. I know a lot of you guys out there are probably rooting for Jesse. I'm sticking with my boy Diego Lima to get the decision win. Like I said, I don't see this ending. You know, maybe Jesse can get the submission win. Maybe Diego can get the knockout. But I just don't see that. I just don't see that playing out in my head. I got Lima with the decision, and that gets us into our main event, a fight that I've been talking about for a while here. I interviewed Justin Gaethje back at World Series of Fighting last year around this time at Foxwoods Casino. Maybe it was Mohegan Sun. They were there for World Series of Fighting 33, I believe it was, and he trained with Josh the Cuddly Bear. And I saw him backstage, had to get the interview with him, and I asked Justin, I was like, "Man, you're at the top right now. A lot of people are asking about you. You know, if the UFC came to you, you know, what would you do? Would you sign?" He was like, "You know, what is the top of MMA? You know, really, it's right now in the World Series of Fighting, I'm getting paid the most I think I could be paid." Then he gets the headline World Series of Fighting in New York City, Madison Square Garden. On New Year's Eve, I was there to watch that fight go down. Cage side on press row. An amazing night, man. All three champions. You know, you had David Branch in there. You had Marlon Moraes who fought. And then Justin. All three of those guys are now over in the UFC. David Branch, he didn't have the most exciting fight, but he did win it. Marlon Moraes, he had the fight against Rafael Sunsao. I did not like that matchup from the start. Marlon had a great fight, but wasn't able to get the W. In this one here, if you look at Michael Johnson's last couple of fights, I believe out of his last 5 fights, he's only won 1 or 2 of those. You know, I know for a fact he's won 1 of 4 fights, which isn't good. He had that loss against Nate Diaz. Last time he won, he had that knockout, beautiful knockout over Dustin the Diamond. I wasn't expecting that, but he was able to get it. Justin Gaethje, he's so unpredictable. You have no idea what he's going to do. Johnson, on the other hand, he's such a technical fighter. That could be the weakness in Justin here. You might see a knockout. I do not see this fight going to decision. I am leaning toward Justin Gaethje to get the 4th round TKO finish. But I really wouldn't be surprised if Johnson also gets a knockout. I just see that happening. I do not see this going to decision. What do you guys think about this? Let me know on Twitter at Pure Evil MMA. Also on Facebook. If you guys want to see the predictions, make sure you check out my Instagram page at Pure Evil MMA. Follow me on Snap. You guys can find it all. Just search Pure Evil MMA. I'm Evil Eddie. I'm going to be live tweeting all night long. This is going to be a very exciting fight. We're kicking off UFC Fight Week. And then tomorrow, more fights coming. Valentina Shevchenko is going to be getting the rematch that she wanted against Amanda Nunes. I am totally pumped. I'm going to be live tweeting at these Twitter links right down here at evil_echo. That's EVIL_ECCO, and also at Pure Evil MMA. Make sure you guys are following Front Proof Media and also MMA UK. Guys, let's get ready. Make sure you get your picks in. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA, Front Proof Media, MMA UK. Behave yourselves.